craft that I picked. Very similar to daiquiris. It's a thigh-high stocking that I got at American Apparel. I chose to do blue so that I could, put it with a black dress, mix it up. I'm going to do the same technique with the water bottle so it's easy to sew. Now I want to push the stocking all the way onto the bottle, up and over. This looks a little sexual right now, that's okay. Because I want to focus where I'm going to embroider around the ankle and up the outside of the calf so that everyone can see my hard work. And I figured out that if you take about a handful of the sock at the bottom of the water bottle, that's where your foot's going to be. Where you don't want to sequin because that's going to go in your shoe. What you will need to make the thigh-high stockings is, I cheated a little bit because I didn't want to sew on one sequin at a time. And I found amazing things like this floral trim that has a fabric backing. And I picked it in the silver and black colors. And then I also picked these aqua sequins and silver beads. Also, it's really fun at some fabric stores. You can find these, bargain bins of weird appliques, which is really great to take up a lot of space. Also for this craft, you'll need, since I picked the silver beads, a very small, thin beading needle and an extra long needle. That's so when you're sewing, you don't have to sew tiny little things. You can really use your needle to reach far up to the next point to save time. So the first thing I'm going to do is placement. As I said, this is where your foot's going to be, and I want to feature the outside of the calf. Luckily, because it is stretchy, you can kind of move it around on your leg. You'll also need some straight pins. I prefer to use these. You can also use the fun colored ones with the heads. And then start placing where you want to put your larger patches. Put this one, let's see, I like this flower one right down by the ankle, right above my high heel shoe, would be very cute. Then I'm going to place where I want my cute little flowers. It's really fun to overlap them. It makes it look a little bit more full. Now, to fill in the negative spaces in between where we have placed, and sewn on all of our flowers, it's real fun to add a pop of color with the sequins. Kind of just fill it in without having to sew a whole bunch. Can kind of do it sporadically. And there is a trick if you don't want to actually see, like on the first sock that we did, the thread that coming over the sequin. There is a trick where you can put a bead on top of the sequin. That is specifically why we need the small beading needle, because it actually is able, unlike most sewing needles, to fit through the bead when you're sewing it on, which is very important. Otherwise, you can't put it on. Then we're going to feed our sequin through, push it all the way down, take our bead, feed that through. Then we're going to go around the side of the bead, just feed the needle right back through the hole of the sequin, like so, and pull it tight. Now, in order to make sure that this stays on, we're going to actually thread our needle back underneath the sequin, hiding our knot. Pull it through. You have your loop. Bring the needle back through and guide the thread under the sequin, pulling tight. Here we go. We have all of our beads and sequins and pieces of our applique, and it looks real fun.